Hello and welcome to the fourth edition of the Let's Talk Balls Seaside Sports Guides podcast. Talking a little baseball today. Me and Chris are actually going to the Sox game tomorrow. Pretty pumped.
Yeah, I'm pumped too. Aside from the weather and Justin Masterson pitching.
Yeah, I've never liked Masterson ever since he came up.
He's just such a hateable I don't know why. I just don't like him. He's from Jamaica. I don't know. He's just a weirdo.
He's from Jamaica?
Yeah, he's from his birthplace was Kingston, Jamaica. I don't know if that's what ESPN says. So probably wrong.
He's like the whitest person alive.
I don't know.
That can't be true.
I don't know. We're gonna have to do some undercover reporting on that. Maybe that will be a new article.
All right.
Okay, so we're gonna start it off with some positives and negatives. Well, we'll just go back and forth here, I guess. So my first positive I thought was locking up Rick Porcello. Aside from today's outing, I thought he had a pretty good outings before that, and I think getting him for such a cheap price, and he's such a good prospect that wrapping him up will actually give us a pitcher. Like, we have no pitchers locked that are young that are locked up, and especially with Henry Owens looking like he's not going to pan out, I think signing Porcello was definitely a great move.
Yeah, I disagree. Just from what I've seen in the spring and what I've seen in his first three starts, Porcello isn't worth it. He's not a top of the rotation guy, I don't think.
I think he can be a 2. The only really counter argument that you could really, in my eye, that you can really say is, well, why didn't we use any of that money? If we could give that to Porcello, why wouldn't we?
Yeah, why wouldn't we give it to Lester?
But I don't know, that ship has kind of sailed, and I don't know, kind of have to build a bridge and get over that, I think, at some point.
Yeah, and what makes you think Henry Owens is not going to work out?
Well, it went from last year he's going to get called up in July or August to pitch games, to now it's looking like he might not even get up this year. I don't know. If he was so great, I don't think Stephen Wright would be beating him out to get on.
Stephen Wright. Stephen Wright is one of my favorites.
He pitched great in the New York 19-inning marathon game, but other than that, I don't know if Henry Owens is this can't miss great pitching prospect. I think he should be beating Stephen Wright out for a roster spot.
And how about the day after that game, you pitch 6 innings, 5 or 6 innings in relief, get the win in a 19-inning game, and then you're back to Pawtucket.
Yeah. Let Edward Mujica just serve up absolute meatballs.
Another guy.
And they don't like Lane either. Their best relievers, they're like, yeah, you guys can go back down to Pawtucket and hang out there for a little bit.
Jump into one of my negatives. Got half the roster in Pawtucket. Probably have the best AAA roster in the game. Tommy Lane. You got Castillo.
Even though he's on the DL, but he should be back. He'll be back.
And then
soon.
Wright. Why are they sending all their stud pitchers down to AAA?
Old dudes like Shane Victorino batting 100, eating roster spots. It's just ridiculous.
He's still getting hurt.
Victorino sore ribs. It's
No, the headline I saw was Shane Victorino rests sore left side. The whole left side of his body is hurt.
Well, he jumped into a wall, but I don't know. He's short, so he had to jump into a wall. He drilled the wall, but still, that's beyond the point. That dude he plays with a reckless abandon. He's hurt every day. Yes, he gives a lot of effort, but he's been.
Yeah, it's the same. It's like Pedroia. It's sure he dies. He's a dirt dog, and I love him, but is that worth all the injuries?
I've been on the record with Pedroia. Isn't worth $100 million. He's a good baseball player. He's not $100 million. And all those stupid diving plays that he has is because he's short. Anyone that has long arms or something maybe gets that standing up, or it's just like a short slide. He's like diving, making these ridiculous plays, and people are freaking out. It's like, yeah, because the dude's like 5'8".
I mean, it's more to do with range than height.
Yeah, that's true. I just don't think. I think people have to settle down with Pedroia is
No, I
like
completely
the
agree.
greatest infielder of all time. It's like, okay, let's like chill out.
With the injury concerns, what does he hit? Like 20, 30 homers the past couple seasons?
They're giving him $100 million to be a power hitter. He's not a
Yeah.
power hitter. They're like, he hits bombs over the monster. That dude had like 3 homers, and it was like late June last year. It's like, he's not a power hitter. He somehow won an MVP award, which is just mind-boggling. It's like, he won an MVP award. Like, nobody must have played that year. Like, maybe everyone pulled the Red Sox and put all their good players in Pawtucket or AAA.
Yeah, last 2013, 9 homers. 2014, 7 homers. And 2012, 15. So 30 was a little generous. He's not.
They definitely had to lock him up. I agree with that, and probably at the time the $100 million was the right move, but he's not worth $100 million. So let's go with one of my negatives. One of my negatives, as I alluded to earlier, is Justin Masterson. Yes, he doesn't have the Wade Miley 10+ ERA, but he still has a 7+ ERA in 2 starts. He's somehow 1-0, which is also ridiculous because the guy's terrible. He should be pitching. He should be pitching in the bullpen. Like, end of story. He's a bullpen guy. He's not a starting pitcher. It's that. That's simple.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on Masterson. He's been. I've never been a fan of him. Just never.
Their bullpen stinks, so put him in the bullpen.
Yeah, like, we need arms. And,
we need arms desperately.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with Robbie Ross in the bullpen, to be honest.
Yeah, guy's terrible.
Yeah. And what's your opinion on Buchholz so far, Chris?
Well, I knew everyone that was freaking out game 1, like, oh yeah, here's our ace, like, we have 5 aces, like, okay, we're playing like the Phillies, and if you take
that's what I said. The Phillies are the worst team in baseball.
You take Cole Hamels and maybe like Utley off the Dominic Brown off the Phillies. I'm not even sure they're AA quality.
No.
Like they're like AAA quality right now. Maybe they're AA if you take off some of their best players. Like they are horrendous. And then everyone's just like, oh yeah, you wanted to trade for Hamels. Yeah, look at him. We crushed him. We have the 4th best offense in the league. A. B, look at his defense and look who he has hitting for him. Like he's gonna get like 2 runs of run support every game. His record's probably gonna be like 10-14 this year. Every Red Sox homer is just gonna be like, oh, look at that, you guys wanted to trade Swihart for him. Like, look at that. It's like, yes, probably wouldn't trade Swihart or best for him, but you could definitely package a bunch of guys together to get him. Like give him Victorino for free.
Yeah. I would pay someone to take Victorino off our hands right now.
He's just logjam. He's just logjam in the outfield. If he was like a veteran that was like, okay, I accept the role of playing.
It's just it's selfish is what it is.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to be a starter. Like I didn't come here to be a bench player. It's like, dude, you're like 40 years old. Like you're going to be a bench player.
Brock Holt and Shane Victorino should be switching places.
Okay, so if you want to hop into that, that's one of my positives also. Brock Holt has been unbelievable.
Every single game he plays in, he gets 2 hits. No
matter
what.
He had a bunch of people have had like good 1 years, like Pedro Siriaco had a good year. Like a bunch of people have had a good then again, Pedro Siriaco was a couple of months, but a bunch of people have had one good year, like Asdrubal Cabrera and all those guys. But he comes out again this year and is hitting the cover off the ball, playing every single position minus catcher and pitcher. He should be starting either in left or at first. You got to start him somewhere.
Yeah,
if he's your best player,
it's bananas.
It's bananas.
He's the best led the team in hitting last year, and he's not even not even in the opening day lineup. You
It's
got to find a spot for him. You got to, especially with Napoli, with Victorino, just
and it's not like we have all these great players.
like
We have a
like
lot of holes.
damn right we do. Like we have a good middle of the lineup, but
I feel
beyond
like
that,
I feel like the bottom of our lineup's like better than the beginning. Like Ortiz is having a bad year. Everyone's like
no,
freaking out about Betts. Like, yeah, the kid has talent, and I want to see him in a Red Sox
I mean
uniform for a long
he's fun
time.
to watch. He's fun to
He's
watch.
batting under 200 right now, so let's put that in perspective. Like, yeah, he
But
has a few
you got to
dingers, and
all
he's a good defensive player, but
all statistics, especially the ERAs and the batting averages, 11 games in, you got to take with a grain of salt.
well, that's not well. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a fair point, but I just think people are just
Like,
are looking at Holt and they're like, oh, he's batting 600, but then they're saying they're not recognizing that Betts is batting 190. So like, if you're saying Holt is 3 times the player than Betts, you're completely wrong.
yeah, exactly. Like, I completely agree with you on that. Next thing, want to talk about?
Do you have any positives or negatives you want to keep going on?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna talk about Joe Kelly saying he wants to win the Cy Young.
Saying
I
he
I
is
friggin'
gonna
love the
win
guy. I
this.
love him. This is
He's
just
crazy.
he's like you're not even the ace on your squad, and you think you're
No
gonna
one's an ace.
win the Cy Young. I guess everyone's an ace. I saw this picture on Twitter. His new it was the parody of those shirts, and it says, "I'm not the ace."
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty funny, but Joe Kelly, you gotta respect the hustle. I mean, he could be a midget, not throw a
Hit a
baseball
throw.
and hit the broadside of a barn, and the confidence gets you somewhere. You gotta have that to be a baseball
Yeah,
player.
he throws hard, and I don't know, maybe he'll be our
Yeah, he's
three.
hitting. He's a small dude, and he's hitting upper 90s.
Yeah,
Like
he's pretty. He has some good stuff.
everyone in spring training is freaking out. He's hitting 99, 97 consistently, and I think he's out of everyone. He's been the most impressive starter so far.
Yeah. Another person I wanted to quickly hit on was Ramirez's power surge early. I think he hits laser like that's another joke. Like they call Pedroia the laser show. Like more like the pop fly to the left over the green monster show. Like the laser show is Hanley Ramirez. The dude hits frozen ropes.
Do you want to trademark that?
What do I want to trade? Yeah, I want to trademark the laser show to Hanley Ramirez and then sue Dustin Pedroia because he's a
All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hanley Ramirez hits bombs.
Hot takes.
Fire. Yeah, the laser show. The more like the strikeout show.
No, I agree. Yeah, Hanley's having a good year. Definitely.
Yeah, he'll find his way in left. Like I don't know. I think people.
Yeah. Do you think we were talking about before? You think he's gonna position changes in the works?
I don't know. People speculating, considering they want to get Holt into the lineup somehow. So they're saying maybe they'll kick Ramirez over to first, considering Napoli's playing terrible, and put Holt in left. Or the other option is leave Hanley out in left and just put Holt at first base. I think either way is fine. I'd probably put Holt at first base because, I don't know, I just trust Holt changing positions. Like, basically, you're telling Hanram short to third to left.
Yeah, that's
you're
tough.
First. He's like, not everyone's Brock Holt. Like, you gotta.
Yeah, exactly.
Not everyone's just like, oh, yeah, let's play this position today.
Guy playing middle infield his whole life. He can't. Going to the outfield is a tough switch, and going to first base would be.
Yeah, we saw A-Rod and how that worked.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's the route you want to take.
Yeah, and Brock Holt's proven he can play friggin' every position on the field, so I definitely agree with you on that too. Brock at first, keep him in left.
So let's talk a little bit about the bullpen. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on the bullpen? I know I do.
You can go first.
Well,
Let's hear your thoughts.
well, like on a just simple note, it stinks. Like the Red Sox, like no one talked about it in the offseason. It was an obvious concern. We get Alexio, what's his name, Ogando,
Yeah,
and
he's a,
then we got Robbie Ross and all those fools, and then Edward Mujica, like this.
Mujica is garbage. The fact that he was the closer when Koji was out was terrifying.
Mujica is like a disaster waiting to happen. He's like Curtis Laskanik. I don't know if you remember who that is from the '04 team. He's Curtis Laskanik 2.0. But the guy comes in, and it's just like the laser alert all over the place.
He's one of those guys, you come in and you get nervous.
You know there's a fastball coming right down the middle, and someone's going to tee off at any given moment.
Yeah, definitely. But I think it's just the pitching staff as a whole just needs work. Besides Koji in the bullpen,
I think Tanichi Tazawa is no one's talking about. The guy's still throwing 95 and striking people out. And then there was a game, I forgot which game it was. He was in the 8th inning, one like lights out, and then Farrell takes him out and puts in some scrub in the 9th, and the guy blows. I forgot what game it was. Tazawa, I think it might have been was it the marathon game? He came in the 8th, and then Farrell took him out after he pitched.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Farrell just overmanages everything.
Yeah, the back end of the Red Sox bullpen isn't bad. The problem is getting there, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Between the lackluster starters and
yeah, exactly. Because if we had good starters who get to the 7th inning, fine, we're absolutely fine. Like, who cares? Now,
but we got
going
Buchholz going 3 innings and then pouting.
4 to 6, we need that long reliever.
Yeah.
And Edward Mujica coming in, serving up absolute atom bombs isn't going to work.
Yeah, definitely not. Next thing, big topic is the catcher situation. What do you think about that, Chris?
So at first I was very opinionated. I was very, why the hell isn't Blake Swihart up? Why isn't he the backup at least because of his great spring? And after looking at it, these guys are good, don't get me wrong, but I think we can get away. If they want to develop Swihart, I can live with it because I think Hannigan is surpassable. I think he's going to bat 240 and hit a couple.
Yeah, and he's
hit a few homers. Like I'm not expecting him to be the 4-hitter. Obviously, he's going to be the 9 or the 8. But I think he's good enough defensively. I think that Sandy Leon guy has a pretty good arm.
He threw out a guy in the first Yankees series. And
yeah, that was ridiculous. Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah, he crossed his body and threw it.
Yeah. I think Leon's pretty good. I have confidence in both of them, and Hannigan's drawn a lot of walks, so that's good. That's a good sign getting some production from the bottom.
I didn't know he was a local guy too, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, where is he from?
No, somewhere in New England. They always, every time he gets up, Orsillo's like, oh, Hannigan, the local boy. And his mom's in the stands, and just goes through the whole biography. You'll hear it another 4,000 times by Orsillo. Orsillo's a clown. So, do the Red Sox, this has been just a regurgitated topic. Do you think the Red Sox have to make a trade or to get a starter, or do you think they should continue to stay put and just hope things improve?
I think starting rotation I think is all set. I think we can get away with our offense keeping them and not making a move, but they need to do something in the bullpen. Like, there are serious issues in the middle relief spots, and yeah.
I think they definitely have to make bullpen moves, but I also think they're starters. The thing is, in mid-August when it's 85, you can get away with having a high-powered offense scoring 10 to 12 runs a game. But once you get down to the postseason where it's 40 degrees every game, no one's scoring over 10 runs, and pitching is the name of the playoffs. 04, Schilling,
Yeah,
Martinez, 07, Beckett was ridiculous. Lester, you name
Lester.
it, all those guys were really good. And then last year, 2013 with Lester and Lackey. So I don't know. I think you need a guy that like. There's nobody on this staff that I would say give it to him. He's gonna at least get me 5 innings, and he's gonna put us in a position. Like I would just tell you to roll a 5-sided die and throw that person out. That's what I would
I
tell you to
mean,
do.
it's a small sample size, but just from the what I've seen so far out of Joe Kelly, he's my guy. I mean, he's just
Yeah.
not only does he have the stuff, but he's just a
Yeah.
gamer.
Has the
Like,
experience too. He's pitched against the Red Sox. He pitched pretty well too, except his team didn't score any runs for him.
yeah, he's just a gamer. He's got that it factor, and a lot of these guys don't have it.
97-mile-per-hour fastball is going to be hard to hit in a cold September night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I really like what he's done. So let's see what else we got going here.
Let's talk about Ortiz for a little bit.
Okay, so Ortiz had a meltdown today. Or he's gonna have one or two a season. I think that's what you just gotta accept the fact. Once one word of disagreement comes out of that guy's mouth, it's over. Because once he says one thing, he's getting it.
Yeah, he's got that reputation.
He's getting his.
What I don't understand, if I were him, just yell at the umpires in Spanish.
Yeah, well, I think they'd take more insult to that. Like they'd be like, "Oh, I can't. He's probably dropping f-bombs in my face right now, so I'm gonna toss."
I'll just throw him out. He probably said something insulting.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. He just had another pissy fit today, and
Yeah, him and Clay Buckles, they're crybabies.
yeah, he like I can't. The problem is he's untouchable. He's literally
exactly
untouchable. He's untouchable. He broke the curse. He was good in 07.
Ortiz,
The MVP in 13. Like he's literally, you can't say a bad word about the guy because he's probably the only reason why we're interested in the Red Sox, and he's the revival source of them. So
no, that is so true, and you gotta take. He's earned it. He's earned it.
And the worst thing about it is he's arguably, I don't know, in my opinion, he's the face of baseball. In the past decade, he's probably, you could argue for Jeter, but Jeter was, I don't know.
Yeah, not Jeter. No, not Jeter.
You could argue
on his
for
way
Jeter.
out.
Yeah, he's been on his way out for a while. Like the 2000s has been Ortiz, and
yeah, definitely.
Ortiz has just been ridiculous, and you can't take a shot at that. You can't take a shot at him, like, even a little cheap shot. It's like, well, like he saved your butt like X amount of times, so you can't say anything.
I mean, and he gets a bad rap. People think he comes off as unintelligent at times.
Thing. People always
PED thing.
The
He wrote like an article for some website, and it was like one of the most well written things I've ever read. So
yeah, who knows if you read it, but
yeah, no, but yeah, he's talking about how he's gotten tested, like he's the most tested player in baseball, and they just came to his home in the Dominican Republic with needles, and their briefcases woke up his kids. So it's pretty intense stuff. I was impressed. He's a good writer.
Yeah. He's definitely I take a totally different stance from a lot of people. I don't care if he took roids and Ramirez took roids. Guess what? So was Rodriguez. So was Giambi.
Yeah, the whole friggin' league was on the juice.
If everyone was on it in 03 and 04, then the playing field's level, and then the counter argument to that is going to be, I don't like Bonds. Well, I think
you don't like bombs. Go play soccer.
No, but Bonds. Well, I like bombs, but
oh, I was going Kent Murphy on you, Chris.
Yeah, the dingers.
You don't like dingers?
but I think Bonds is just like a despicable human being. Like I don't think Ortiz gets a lot of bad media rep, I think, like you said, and I don't know. I think he just is fed up with he gets attacked more than anyone, like you said, with the most testings in the middle of his Dominican Republic. Like, what are they
Yeah,
like?
Dan Shaughnessy.
Break
Yeah,
into his house?
he's talking. Yeah, that's what Ortiz made it sound like. And then Dan Shaughnessy, he's talking about, or it was an unnamed reporter, but you can assume it was Shaughnessy. He's
Yeah.
talking about how he was complaining about how he got tested so much, and Shaughnessy was like, "Oh, you're an old Dominican Republican player. Of course they're gonna test you. You can't be doing good unless you're on the juice." So
Yeah,
he's just got that rep.
Shaughnessy, I do like a lot of his takes, but that guy, he's turned into just like, oh, I'm just gonna take the opposite route every single time, just to piss
Yeah,
people off and get publicity. Like, at first, I think it was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna take the alternate route because I'm not afraid of the critics and stuff like that. But now it's just like a charade, and I don't know, his shtick's kind of old, if you ask me.
eh. Yeah. I'm not too familiar. I don't read a lot of his stuff, but it
Yeah.
seems all right.
Okay. Yeah, for the Sox, I think we've hit mostly the whole thing. I know you want to talk about the Pete Rose situation real quick.
Yeah. I'm just Pete Rose, one of my favorite player of all time. I'm real happy with the new commissioner that he's looking to get reinstated, and I think he deserves it. I think 4,000 hits speaks for itself. I think he could have 4,000 hits, whatever the hell he did. You deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, if you have a bunch of Reuters, if you don't have a bunch of Reuters,
Exactly.
that's one thing. But like the dude was betting on baseball games. Like, yeah, was it bad? Yeah, but you also have like scumbags like what's his Palmero and all those idiot
Yeah.
McGuire and Bonds lined the
I
like
mean, that's
line.
100. That is 100% worse for the game than betting on
Yeah,
baseball.
exactly. Like all these steroid, if you're gonna accept all these steroid guys that literally revived the baseball with all the like the 70 whatever homers McGuire hit, if you're gonna accept that because it brought publicity, the guy who hit 4,000 hits probably helped your publicity too. Let's remember. So I think he should be let back in. Like unless like if you're gonna kick someone out because of domestic violence or stuff like that, like I get that. Like yeah, they should get kicked out. But if you still have scumbags like A-Rod who's got caught like 15 gazillion times, still in the league, and you're still letting him play and earn millions of dollars a bonus,
He's a scumbag.
like let Pete Rose back in. Like the guy's a legend. Like
He is a legend, and he plays the game right. Pete Rose is everything that is right about baseball.
okay,
So
so right before we wrap this up, so unfortunately Tebow has re-entered society, and we have to listen to this garbage for another 8 months before he gets cut or whatever. I don't know. Like someone should start the countdown to when Tebow gets cut, because I hate Tebow. Like I hate him. He's the worst. Tommy. Tommy. See, it wouldn't be a pod, guys, if there wasn't a malfunction with Tommy muting his own microphone or something like that. So, yeah, so basically Tebow today signed with the Eagles, Chip Kelly, and his master scheme. Yeah. You back? Well, he re-signed with the Eagles today, and not re-signed, he signed with the Eagles today. And it's just ridiculous because Skip Bayless, all those Tebow lovers are going to be going nuts. And Tebow is Tebow deserves to where he was last year. You should be a college football analyst. The guy is terrible. Like I'm pretty sure I throw a football probably almost as good as Tim Tebow. The guy has a terrible arm. He is a product of a great Urban Meyer Florida system. Tim Tebow, everyone is despicable. Tebow does not deserve to be on an NFL team. He probably doesn't even deserve to be on a CFL team. The guy is that bad. Like my question is like, where has he been? So he's been on college football, but do you think he's like working out, like training to be an NFL quarterback? Like I think it's just a publicity stunt for the Eagles. And honestly, like the Eagles, like have to recognize they made a lot of moves this summer, and the last thing they need is a publicity stunt. I think they have to get down to business. Like this is part two of a couple years ago when everyone was like, "Oh, the Eagles are going 16-0, and they're not going to be stopped. They're going right to the Super Bowl." So I don't know. Tim Tebow.
I'm back.
T-Eagles is back. Look at that, everyone. Tommy, I was just telling the people that it wasn't a real Seaside Sports Guys podcast if Tommy didn't leave mid.
Well, Mitch saw that we're doing the podcast, and he keeps trying to call me, trying to sabotage us.
We don't talk about Mitch on our podcast. Mitch, aka the Gentleman TV. I don't know. Probably wants our autograph or something, so he's calling us.
All right, I guess we'll have to cut this out. We'll blurt his name out and say he who shall not be named.
Yeah, like Voldemort.
All right, so we wrapping it up.
Over and out.
All right, let me get a bat flip in.
This is one of the worst endings to a pod.
Gone forever, Aaron Hernandez.